Welcome to Tier 1 Jank. I am Marcus, and I have a very spicy, very fun, very janky brew to show you tonight. It's called Epic Sagas. We're going to get to that in just a minute, but first I have a little bit of a shameless self-promoting to do. We are a small channel here, and we would like to grow, but we need your help to do that. And there are a few ways you can do that. One is by just watching the videos like you are now. Hit the like button down there and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. One other new thing I've done is I've gone ahead and set up a Patreon account. So if you'd like to help out the channel that way, you can. I don't expect, a huge following on that right away or anything, but any support that you guys could show would help immensely. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that real quick. Sorry, but this is going to look weird for just a second. If you go to YouTube, here's our page here. We have a little bit link right at the bottom of our banner that'll take you over to our Patreon page, and that's here. I set up a goal of 100 to start out with. Um, I know it's not a lot, but I don't think that it should go much higher than that to start. We have a few ways to reward our patrons. The first tier is just you have to make names for the tiers. So we went with the 1-1 token. Here's me dressed up as a sapling, the 1-1 token. So your reward for that is just a shout out on the stream. We'll give a thank you and let everybody know that you're showing your support. If you want to donate a little bit more than that, you can become a Jank Mage for $10. And if you want to do that, then you'll get to face me in a direct challenge on Arena on the stream. So we'll take your deck if you face me on Arena, and we'll put that up on the channel for you. If you'd like to be even more generous, we have a $50 tier, and for that, we'll play a deck of your choosing on the channel. And the reason that's the top tier and a little bit more is on Arena, the only way to get exactly the cards you need if you don't accidentally open them is to get wild cards, and you have to buy packs and open packs to do that. So if you'd really like to help the channel out, we'll be able to put a little bit more money into Arena and get some more wild cards that way and build more decks. But enough about that. We'll go ahead and get to the deck in question today. Let me put this back real quick. And here is our Epic Sagas deck, and it is named that because of two cards. We have our first saga, the Mirari Conjecture. Let me actually get onto it here. Here we go. The Mirari Conjecture, which will first return an instant card from our graveyard to our hand on the first lore counter. That happens right after you play it. The next turn after you draw, the second lore counter goes off and you return a sorcery card to your hand. And the third lore counter, best part of the story, until the end of your turn, on that turn, on the third lore counter, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you'll copy it. You may choose new targets of the copy. Now, our other saga that we have in the deck is the Flame of Keld. On the first lore counter for this, you have to discard your hand, which seems really bad, and it can be sometimes, but most of the time when we're playing this, we will either not have a hand or the cards in our hand will be irrelevant. So it can work out quite well, because on the second lore counter, you're going to draw 2 extra cards, so that happens right after your draw, so you're going to end up with 3 cards total. And then on the next lore counter, if a red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or planeswalker this turn, it deals that much damage plus 2 to that permanent or planeswalker instead. So say that something was going to do 1 damage, it's going to do 3. If it was going to do 2, it's going to do 4. So that works out really well because every source in our deck that does damage is red. But these sagas can take a long time, and I'm kind of impatient, so we need a protagonist to help along our stories, and that's going to be Keldon Warcaller, and this is the janky part of our deck. Nobody that I know of uses this. There's so many sagas that see play in Standard, but everybody has just left this guy to draft fodder, and he hasn't seen any play. But what he does is he's a bear, 2/2 for 2, and whenever he attacks, he puts a lore counter on target saga you control. So if we say just played Flame of the Keld, we discarded our hand, we're going to attack with the Keldon Warcaller, he's going to bump that up to the second lore counter and draws 2 cards right away before anything happens. We happen to have 2 Keldon Warcallers out. They're both going to trigger. It's going to put it first to the lore counter 2. We're going to draw 2 cards, and then the lore counter 3 and every red source is going to do +2 damage, which means both those War Callers are swinging in for 4 damage each. That can also work on our Mirari Conjecture. We're usually not going to want to play it and then swing with 2 War Callers because that's going to put us right to our double spell turn and we won't have the mana to use it, but it's often good to play the Mirari Conjecture, swing in with one War Caller, get your sorcery back, and then the next turn you're a step ahead and being able to play all your spells twice. So that's what we're going to be trying to do. Other than that in the deck, we have mostly Burn. We also have 3 electrostatic fields. They're going to help along, do a few extra points of damage, and remember when the Flame That Kills goes off, these are going to do 3 points of damage every time they trigger instead of 1. The only other creature in the deck is Fanatical Firebrand. He's a 1/1 haste. We can sack him to kill 1/1 creatures, or you can do 1 damage to any target. And again, when the Flame of Kelp goes off, he's going to be doing 3 damage, whether we're attacking or sacrificing him. So that works out really well. We also have 3 copies of Lava Coil for problem creatures, 4 copies of Lightning Strike, 4 copies of Shock, Opt for some draw, as well as Chemister's Insight. Something that works extremely well with our Mirari Conjecture rather is Pirate's Village. Now this is a 4 mana sorcery, and in addition you need to discard a card, but what it's going to do for you is draw 2 cards and create 2 treasure tokens. So if you think about it, when the Mirari Conjecture is going off and all your spells are doubled, this is pretty much a spell that costs you 1 card discarded, you draw 4, and you're getting your 4 mana back, which will often put you into a lot of your lower cost spells like Shock, which you're also going to be able to copy and can lead to some really crazy turns. Other than that, we do have a single copy of Raw, and I think that's about everything in the deck. As far as lands go, I do have 2 copies of Izzet Guildgate that could be easily replaced with more Steam Vents or Sulphur Falls. I only have 2 each of those in there. There's a copy of Memorial to Genius. Sometimes you do need a little bit of extra card draw, and that can help out on those turns when you are going off if you didn't draw the spells that you need. And we have 1 copy of Detection Tower to hit problem creatures with hexproof like Carnage Tyrant or Vine things like that. It isn't, a tier 1 competitive deck, but it can beat the tier 1 competitive deck sometimes, and it is a lot of fun to play, especially when it does go off. So we're going to give that a try tonight. I hope you enjoy it, and let me know what you think down in the comments.